Hey there, Dana here from Piwakawaka Valley. I thought we might have a quick tour in between rain showers of our vegetable garden and our food forest. I've got the baby here with me. Whoop. And we'll go and have a look and see what we can see. Now this over here is actually our herb garden. And our herb garden has grown us, it's mostly edible food, edible herbs, and but quite a few flowers in there for the bees, and quite a few weeds in there because I just haven't had a chance to get around to pull them out. I'll show you our fig. We've got a fig bush that's growing some figs, which is always exciting. See it there. Figs aren't common in this part of town, so we're just going to see if it'll actually ripen for us. And over here you can see this is where the kids' cockatiels live, and down on the floor we've got some tiny little Chinese button quail as well. And you can see our vegetable garden is completely netted off to keep the blackbirds out, because they're a real menace around here. So this is the bird-proof gate to the vegetable garden. Oops. And in here you can see everything we've got growing over on this side. Down here, this is my cold frame that I've got all my seedlings that I start in there. And that barrel there is because we filled all these raised beds up with compost that we got from the garden centre, and it was sawdust and cow poo, but it hadn't been decomposed enough, and so there's not enough nitrogen in it. So my solution was I filled this bin up with chick poo from the chickens that we were raising, and topped it up with water, and then I've watered the plants with it probably about once a week, and it's made the world of difference for the plants that were really struggling. You can see in here we've got some carrots growing down, and then behind that we've got a row of runner beans, and then behind that some corn. I've never grown corn before, but these ones seem to be doing alright thanks to the old chicken poop. Off to the other side there you can see some Urukina potatoes. They're purple. I'll see if I can find one for you. They're so dark that they're almost black. They're amazing. And then over in this garden bed here, I had a whole lot of beetroot in here, and they did really poorly, and so I've oversown it with carrots, and now the beetroot's growing. Typical, isn't it? Right in the corner, you see that? Right in the very corner there, we've got what's called a 9-star broccoli, which is a perennial type of broccoli, so we'll see how that goes. And then you can see in the walkways here, these are all my seedlings that I've started and haven't managed to get out into the garden yet. I always try and grow a different variety of plants, but this year, it's thanks to having a baby, it's largely been focused on just getting in the garden what I know the family will eat. And some special plants like the purple potatoes and the corn, just we'll see how they go. If they grow, they grow. If they don't, well, nothing lost, right? I'll take you over and we'll have a look in the tunnel house. The tunnel house door is completely and utterly broken thanks to the wind that we get here. My tunnel house is a wee bit sad this year. The bees have taken a long time to come out because of the rain and rubbish weather we've had. So the tomatoes aren't doing quite as well as we'd hoped. But, you know, some fresh tomatoes is better than no fresh tomatoes, eh? So that there is our heated seed raising table, which I've also used for propagating cuttings. Obviously those cuttings didn't work, but a lot of them did. I'll show you those shortly. And over the back there you can see the tomatoes. They're doing alright. The cherries have come through, and I've had a few of the pink ox hearts have come up as well, and the others will come slowly, I presume. Let's get this door shut again. Right, and over behind us you'll be able to see, turn around, you can see the nasturtiums growing up the side there, and they're always pretty to keep around. Over here you can see there's apple trees that I've grafted on there. They're growing in amongst the mess. And of course my zucchinis are doing well. Finally. They really struggled not having enough nitrogen, and the chicken poop tea did them some real good. You can. Yeah, so that's pretty much our vegetable garden. Some years it grows better than others. This year's not been too bad, considering we've had rain right up until after Christmas, and it's meant to be summertime, and again it's raining again today. But obviously there's enough heat that the corn's finally growing, so that's always exciting. We'll pop up and have a quick look around the food forest as well. Now we were really lucky with the food forest. We had some people that knew me from the blog that live locally come out, and they all spent a day. We did a workshop first and then spent the other half of the day putting in trees and things, because I had a 4-week-old baby at the time, and it was the end of winter, so we had to get them in. So this is the food forest, and behind me you can see one of the posts. We've got a supporting frame along the back there for putting in berries, and at the bottom of those, you reckon, at the bottom of those we've got some blackberries and some raspberries growing, and I've got a couple of boysenberry plants that are going to go in there as well, but they're not ready yet. Next year will be a better year for those. Also behind me you can see, under that black weed matting there, we've got about 400 strawberry plants in there, give or take some, but they've had the same problem with the compost that the vegetable garden had, and so we haven't had much of a crop this year, unfortunately. The best strawberries I've had have actually been out of the bottom of the food forest. There's a few hiding around on the floor. So again, hopefully next year will be a better year, eh? Now in here you can see we sowed a cover crop of some tick beans, which are like tiny little fava beans or tiny little broad beans, and some field peas, and then in amongst that we've also got a whole lot of buttercup and a weed. I don't know if you can see it down here, right down in the bottom there, It's called birdfoot trefoil or something to that, birdfoot something, and it's taking over the place. But anyway, we've got quite a few herbs planted in under the trees, and despite this being on quite a slope, the ground's actually really quite boggy, so I've actually had to pull out a lot of the fruit trees. That's why some of them don't. We'll go and have a look at some of them. Some of them don't look like they're doing so well. If you see, I don't know if you can, this tree here, should be completely covered in leaves, and as you can see, it's not. And when I dug it out, its roots were just absolutely sodden with water, and that seems to be the case all the way along here, so I've had to dig them out and mound them up. Same with my blueberry plants. I've done the same with those. They're doing a lot better now. In fact, they've even got some berries on them. So up in this food forest area, we've got, I want to say maybe 10 different plum trees, and we also have about 5 black boy peaches and about 5 moorpark apricots. You're getting all wet. Oh, that made it a bit blurry. Yeah, so I'm hoping that those trees will come away again come next springtime, but we'll wait and see. I have got some spare ones on the patio being eaten by a sandfly. We have got some spare ones over on the patio if we need them. The other thing we've got planted in here is a whole lot of Jerusalem artichokes, because I had some growing in the vegetable garden. Stupid move, don't grow them in the vegetable garden. And so I had a whole bucket load of them, so I've just dug 2 big rows and dumped them all the way along. So I've also got a whole bunch of those growing down just in rows along there. They're currently about waist height, so we'll wait and see what happens with those. There's also a quince bush over off yonder. There's a quince bush, if you can see it, there. And then along the back, along here, we have a whole lot of basket willows planted all along that ridge along there. And then in behind them we've got some tree lucerne, which again are quite small. But hopefully one day this will be a nice, productive, large space for us. You can see the dogs fighting in the bushes. We've also got an orchard down the hill, but it's sort of waist deep in grass and the trees aren't very tall either, so one day I'll get down there and sort them out. But this is kind of my focus in the meantime, is to try and get some ground cover established in here. So, it's just starting to rain, so I'm going to head back inside. So that's about it with our gardens really for now. I'll keep you updated with how they're growing and how those trees progress, and hopefully they'll come away nicely. We'll see you in the next video.